There's something sacred about a heartbeat. You don't see it. You rarely feel it. But it's there, working tirelessly for you day and night, year after year, without applause, without complaint. Over 2 billion beats by the time you reach your 60s. And yet, the most faithful organ in your body can be quietly undermined, not by indulgent desserts, not by greasy meals, but by the very vegetables you were told were healthy. Yes, vegetables. I know this may sound strange coming from a doctor, especially one who has spent decades telling patients to eat their greens. But what I've learned in the quiet rooms of my clinic, and what I've seen in the eyes of patients who did everything right, is this: not all vegetables love you back the way you think they do. Some are gentle friends. Others, for people over 60, can become silent saboteurs. I've had seniors walk into my office bewildered. Their blood pressure won't come down. Their medications don't seem to work like they used to. They eat clean. They exercise. They read labels. And yet, their heart continues to weaken. Their energy fades. Their legs swell. They feel dizzy, fragile, tired of trying. And when I dig deeper, when I ask about their meals, their salads, their smoothies, their favorite healthy additions, it's there. Hiding in plain sight. Vegetables that disrupt, that interfere, that inflame. Not because they're bad in themselves, but because aging changes everything. Your digestion, your circulation, your medication sensitivity, your immune response. What was once healing can now be harmful. So today, I need to ask you something difficult. Something urgent. Please, reconsider 5 vegetables that may be silently hurting your heart. Let's begin with the one that surprises almost everyone. Spinach. Yes, spinach. The darling of green smoothies. The badge of every so-called clean eater. But for seniors, especially those taking blood thinners, spinach can quietly undo everything your medication is trying to protect you from. Why? Because spinach is extremely high in vitamin K. This isn't a bad thing, unless you're on anticoagulants like warfarin. These medications are designed to prevent your blood from clotting too easily. They reduce your risk of stroke, heart attack, or pulmonary embolism. But when you suddenly increase your vitamin K intake, say, by adding spinach smoothies to your daily routine or building large raw salads, you're introducing a nutrient that directly counteracts your medication. The scariest part? You feel fine. You assume your meds are working. But inside, your blood is quietly thickening. And I've seen it happen: many strokes, clots, even sudden cardiac episodes, simply because someone tried to eat better without realizing how their greens were rewriting their internal chemistry. Now let me be clear, I'm not saying spinach is the villain. Inconsistent consumption is. If you're going to eat high vitamin K vegetables like spinach, it must be in moderation, and consistently, so your doctor can adjust your medication dosage properly. And you must tell your doctor. This is not about fear. It's about informed, respectful choices. Because food isn't just food when you're over 60. It's chemistry. It's medicine. It's either helping your heart or silently hurting it. And if spinach can do that, what else might be lurking on your plate? Let's move to the refrigerator. Think back to your last sandwich. That satisfying crunch. That vinegary snap. The innocent pile of pickled cucumbers. Harmless, right? Pickled cucumbers. The salty trap. I see them in lunchboxes, on charcuterie boards, in mason jars passed down through generations. Pickles feel like tradition. Like something light, refreshing, even probiotic. But behind that tangy crunch lies a dose of sodium so high, it might as well be a salted pretzel or a processed bag of chips. One serving of pickles, just a few slices, can carry over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly 2/3 of your entire daily limit, in just a handful. And sodium, for a heart that's aging, is no small matter. It holds water in your bloodstream, raises your blood volume, increases vascular resistance, and sends your blood pressure climbing. Over time, it leads to arterial stiffening, kidney overload, and in many cases, congestive heart failure. The tragedy? Most seniors don't see it coming. They've cut out bacon. They've stopped salting their food. They've ditched chips and fast food. But they still eat pickles, canned veggies, store-bought soups. All packed with salt, camouflaged behind labels, tradition, or convenience. I had a patient once, quiet, disciplined, never missed a dose of his medication. He walked daily, drank plenty of water, ate home-cooked meals. But his blood pressure kept creeping up. He couldn't understand why. Neither could his family. Until one day I asked him to write down everything he ate. And there it was, pickles. Twice a day. Every day. He had no idea. And when he stopped, his pressure dropped. Not overnight. But steadily. Peacefully. Like a knot slowly loosening from his chest. That's what I want for you. To breathe easier. To live longer. To remove the silent weights that keep your heart from resting. But sodium isn't the only invisible danger. There's another vegetable, one that doesn't sneak in quietly, but rather blazes its way in. A firecracker. A cultural favorite. A flavor that dances and excites until it starts igniting something dangerous within. Red chili peppers. They're in sauces, stews, curries, even oils. For some, they're a daily delight. For others, a nostalgic necessity. But here's the truth, red chili peppers stimulate your sympathetic nervous system. They increase adrenaline. They raise your heart rate. They constrict your blood vessels. In a young, healthy person, this can be exhilarating. A rush of flavor and energy. But in a senior with already sensitive arteries, a weaker cardiac output, or high blood pressure, this extra stimulation can tip the scale from safety into danger. I've seen patients rush to the ER after a spicy meal. Palpitations. Pressure spikes. Atrial fibrillation. Not because they were careless, but because their heart couldn't handle the heat anymore. The kicker? They had no idea what caused it. Some thought it was anxiety. Others blamed stress. But when we traced it back, it was often a heavy hand with the chili oil or an extra dash of dried red flakes in their soup. Spice is not evil. But it is powerful. And at a certain age, your body becomes more sensitive to what once thrilled it. That doesn't mean you must eat bland meals forever. There are gentler ways to bring flavor: ginger, garlic, herbs like basil and thyme, lemon zest. Let your heart rest while your palate rejoices. Because comfort food should never come at the cost of cardiac distress. And if chili peppers, with all their passion, can lead your heart astray, what about something known for healing? Something ancient, natural, revered? What happens when a food meant for protection turns on you, because of how it's consumed? Let's go there next. Let's talk about garlic. Raw garlic. A symbol of strength. A healer passed down from grandmothers and old herbal books. Garlic has been praised across civilizations for clearing the blood, fighting infections, even warding off evil. And medically speaking, garlic has real power. It can lower cholesterol, act as a mild antibiotic, and thin the blood. But like any power, when handled recklessly, especially in aging bodies, it can do more harm than good. I once sat beside a 76-year-old woman who was deeply committed to natural healing. Every morning, before breakfast, she swallowed 2 raw garlic cloves like pills. She had read online that it would cleanse her arteries, help her pressure, and keep her heart strong. But what she didn't know was that she was also on aspirin. And lisinopril. And occasionally took ibuprofen for her knees. When she came in with unexplained dizziness, nosebleeds that wouldn't stop, and strange bruises along her arms, her labs told the story her face could not. Her blood was too thin. Her clotting time had nearly doubled. Her heart, though technically still beating fine, was now at risk, not from blockage, but from bleeding. Garlic had become her weapon, but not one of healing. One of unintended danger. You see, raw garlic isn't just a food. It's a chemical force. It inhibits platelet aggregation, essentially thinning the blood, and that's beneficial in small doses. But pair it with a pharmaceutical blood thinner, and you have a recipe for excessive anticoagulation. And this is where many get hurt. Because it doesn't feel dangerous. Garlic is natural. It grows in the ground. It's not a pill. But nature can be just as potent as any pharmacy. Especially when your organs, your liver, your kidneys, and your blood vessels don't metabolize like they used to. And it's not just the blood. Raw garlic can also drop blood pressure unexpectedly, especially when combined with antihypertensive medications. The result? Lightheadedness, blackouts, fainting. And for a senior with brittle bones or a history of falls, one bad moment can change everything. I've had patients with internal bleeding, cardiac arrhythmias triggered by hypotension, and even acute kidney stress, all because they thought garlic was a harmless habit. So what's the lesson here? Garlic is not the enemy. But dosage and form matter more after 60 than ever before. Cooked garlic is gentler. Aromatic. Still rich in sulfur compounds, but less volatile. And always let your doctor know what supplements or food regimens you're adding in. Because your heart deserves clarity, not confusion from conflicting signals. And if raw garlic, with all its history and promise, can turn against your heart, then what about a vegetable that seems harmless at first bite? Light. Crisp. Almost childlike in its innocence. A vegetable that carries a secret not in its chemistry, but in its cleanliness. I'm talking about raw sprouts. Sprouts. They look like little miracles, tiny green threads bursting with potential. Bean sprouts, alfalfa, clover, mung. They're marketed as detoxifiers. Youth enhancers. Live food. But do you know what else thrives in the warm, humid, nutrient-rich conditions that sprouts need to grow? Bacteria. E. coli. Salmonella. Listeria. These are not imaginary threats. They are real. And while a 30-year-old may weather a mild case of food poisoning with a few days of discomfort, for seniors, especially those with heart conditions, these invisible invaders can be deadly. Why? Because the immune system after 60 is no longer a rapid response team. It's slower, more cautious, more easily overwhelmed. And because the heart, when already burdened by medication, by plaque, by aging valves and stiffened arteries, cannot afford an infection. It simply doesn't have the reserve. A small bout of food poisoning can lead to dehydration, which lowers blood volume and causes your heart to work harder. It can trigger fever, which raises your heart rate and taxes your oxygen demand. And worst of all, if the bacteria enter your bloodstream, which is more common than you think, it can infect your heart directly. A condition known as endocarditis. And I've seen it. Quiet, sudden, brutal. The tragedy? It came from a sandwich. Or a salad. Or a healthy topping on a plate that was supposed to heal. I remember holding the hand of a patient who once told me, through tears, "Doctor, I just wanted to eat clean." He thought he was nourishing his body. He didn't know he was playing roulette with an invisible danger. So I say this gently, but firmly, raw sprouts are not worth the risk. Not now. Not when your immune system and your heart are asking for protection. If you love them, cook them. A quick steam, a light stir-fry, it can preserve most of the nutrients while killing harmful microbes. You deserve to feel safe with every bite. Not anxious. Not uncertain. Because food should be peace, not panic. And if these 5 vegetables, spinach, pickled cucumbers, chili peppers, raw garlic, and raw sprouts, can carry such silent weight, what's left? What can you trust? What does a heart-friendly plate look like after 60? Let me show you, not with fads or gimmicks, but with what science and clinical experience have proven again and again: simplicity, warmth, and consistency. Let's picture it. A modest plate. On it sits a gently roasted sweet potato, its orange flesh steaming with beta-carotene and fiber. Beside it, a scoop of lentils, soft, earthy, rich in folate and potassium. Next to that, a small pile of sautéed kale, wilted with garlic and olive oil, not raw but relaxed, its oxalates tamed by heat. And finally, slices of ripe tomato, slow roasted to unlock their lycopene, a known ally in arterial protection. No tricks. No extreme restriction. No loud promises. Just healing. Just respect. Because your heart, after everything it's carried, doesn't need to be punished into health. It needs to be loved back into strength. That's the real medicine. And now that you've seen the foods to avoid and the ones to embrace, there's one more lesson I need to share. It's not about spinach or pickles. It's not even about what you chew or swallow. It's about what you believe, about your own worth. About whether you still deserve to heal. Because the truth is, you do. But we'll speak about that next. There's a moment in every life when the body speaks louder than the world. It may come quietly, in the form of shortness of breath while tying your shoes, or a tightness in your chest as you climb the stairs. It may arrive in the silence of a sleepless night, listening to your own heartbeat and wondering, is it still strong enough? And in that moment, something deeper rises. A question. Have I done enough to protect this heart that's carried me through it all? Because this heart, it's not just muscle and valves. It's where you've stored the names of everyone you've ever loved. It's where you held your breath when your child was born. Where you felt that first sting of loss. Where you kept going, even when it hurt. This heart is your story. So when I say stop eating these 5 vegetables, I'm not saying it to shame you. I'm not trying to take away your traditions or make food a source of fear. I'm saying it because I've seen too many good people, honest, disciplined, hopeful people, suffer quietly because no one told them that the rules change after 60. That your body becomes a different map. That digestion slows. That absorption weakens. That drug interactions increase. That inflammation builds more easily and lingers longer. That the margin for error narrows. And yet, no one told them. So they kept eating like they always had. Kept trusting old habits in a new season of life. And the result? A slow weakening. A confusion. A heartbreak, not just in muscle, but in spirit. But you're not helpless. Not at all. In fact, the beauty of this stage of life, the real power of it, is that you no longer need to prove anything. You don't need 6-pack abs. You don't need to follow every fad. You don't need to count every calorie or fear every bite. You just need to listen. To your body. To your heart. To the quiet voice inside you that already knows what feels right. Your body isn't demanding perfection, it's begging for consistency, gentleness, and awareness. You can nourish your heart without punishing your tongue. You can season your food with herbs that heal: rosemary for circulation, turmeric for inflammation, basil for balance. You can choose steaming over frying, soups over sauces, water over wine. You can slow down, chew more, eat less, but better. And perhaps most importantly, you can forgive yourself. For the years you didn't know. For the warnings no one gave you. For the habits you clung to when all you wanted was comfort. Because that's what food has always been, a kind of comfort. A memory. A ritual. A link to your culture, your family, your past. But now, let it become something more. Let it be your act of love. Your quiet revolution. Your whispered promise to your future self. I still care. I still believe I am worth protecting. Because you are. Your next heartbeat is a gift. It means there's still time. Still strength in your veins. Still breath in your lungs and purpose in your bones. I've watched hearts come back from the brink. I've seen arteries soften. I've seen energy return. I've seen hands that once trembled begin to steady. I've seen tears of despair replaced by tears of victory, all because someone made the choice to show up for themselves again. Not through supplements. Not through surgery. But through presence. Through patience. Through one simple plate at a time. And if you need a place to start, let it be this. Look down at your plate tonight. Ask yourself not, is this healthy? But rather, is this kind? Is this thoughtful? Is this good for the version of me I am today, not the one I was 20 years ago? Because aging isn't decline. Aging is refinement. Your body is becoming more sensitive, yes, but also more honest. It tells you, quickly and clearly, what helps and what harms. That is a gift. Listen to it. Remove what inflames. Keep what strengthens. Cook what's raw. Ease what's sharp. Balance what's bold. Soften what's harsh. And whatever you do, don't give up. Not on your meals. Not on your healing. Not on the belief that your best days can still surprise you. I know there are voices out there that tell you it's too late. That if you've already had heart disease, or high blood pressure, or surgery, or stents, that you've already missed your chance. But I'm here, as a doctor, to tell you otherwise. It's never too late to reduce inflammation. It's never too late to lighten your blood pressure. It's never too late to strengthen your heart muscle with the right foods, the right sleep, the right movement. It's never too late to walk into your kitchen, open your fridge, and say, I choose better. I choose me. Because you are not weak. You are not broken. You are becoming wiser. And the heart, of all organs, listens to wisdom. So be kind to it. Don't overload it with hidden salt from pickles. Don't confuse it with swings in vitamin K from inconsistent greens. Don't stimulate it with fiery peppers that your arteries can no longer cool. Don't thin its lifeblood with raw garlic when medication is already doing that work. Don't force it to fight infections from sprouts that seem so innocent. Instead, give it peace. Warm, cooked vegetables. Gentle fibers. Whole, unprocessed foods. And a rhythm of eating that matches the rhythm of healing, not the rush of youth. You've made it this far. You've endured. You've loved. You've lost. You've built. You've survived. Now it's time to live, not just longer, but better. So tonight, before bed, place your hand over your chest. Feel it. That heartbeat? That is your story continuing. That is your second chance. That is life saying, I'm still here. And so are you. Take care of this sacred engine. Not out of fear, but out of deep, undeniable love. For yourself. For those who love you. And for the life that still has chapters yet to be written. Thank you for being here. If something you heard today touched you, I invite you to share it with someone you care about. Your heart may help save another. And if you're ready to make even one small change, let us know in the comments what it is. You're not alone. This is a journey we take together. And I promise you, the best time to start is always now. Before you go, remember this. Your heart has given you everything. Now, it's your turn to give back. If this video helped you see things differently, don't stop here. Tap on the next video to keep learning how to protect your heart, your strength, and your future. Leave a comment, just one small change you're ready to make today. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Not for me, but for you. For your health. For your life. Because the next chapter of your story deserves a stronger heartbeat. I'm with you every step of the way.